After chaperoning So-eun to her doorstep, Tae-jun bid goodbye and told her he will see her Monday. Like that, he casually walked away, leaving So-eun confused yet touched at the same time. After she got inside her apartment, she crouched down, blushing and questioning herself. Han So-eun, what is happening to you? Have you already forgotten how much you suffered for ignoring young Hae-wook's mistreatment of you? Are you really going to fall for someone else so soon? You can't. That's your boss. You have to draw the line there. She has yet to recover from her emotional crush, and yet, she received a text message from her crush stating for her to contact him at this number from now on if anything should happen to her. Imagining that blurry vision of him, telling her that he'll go up with her. She was glad that she couldn't find her lenses. Back at Tae-jun's house, he finally arrived and slumped on his bed, questioning himself. Why did I have to lie like that? Lying to her that he has some business to attend to so he can give her a ride home on the way to the company, or lying that the vase is only 5 million won. I shouldn't be okay with that either, but I didn't want to pressure her. How childish. I don't feel good. Could it be because I'm still tired from not being able to sleep well at night? Or perhaps, is it because I exposed too much of my private life to her? Am I anxious? I don't even know how to describe how I'm feeling right now. However, oddly enough, it felt so familiar. The scent of Han So-eun, is it in the pillow? The blanket? No, it's all over the bed, isn't it? The bed that So-eun slept on last night. Her scent still lingers. Damn it. He won't be able to sleep at home tonight. Monday morning, Hae-wook went to visit his mother. He went there with news to tell his mother that he and So-eun had broken up. The mother frowned and asked, was it because she heard about their blood types? Was he the one who initiated the breakup? Hae-wook explained that So-eun was the one who wanted the breakup and the blood type was partially the reason. The mother panicked and questioned, did So-eun ask for money when she broke up? Did she try to extort money from him? Hae-wook explained that he's a lawyer. She knows she cannot do that to him. And actually, everything turned out pretty well. As Choi Hyun-jin said she liked him, the mother's mood changed from panic to aesthetic and asked Hae-wook if Hyun-jin really liked him. Hae-wook explained that he couldn't come to tell his mother earlier because he was busy, but they started dating after So-eun broke up with him. He's thinking about proposing to her soon. The mother exclaimed, what a great catch. Well done, son. Hae-wook smiled and said, your son is very charming. Haha. But then the mother asked, however, there's something strange with So-eun. Why would she break up with someone like you? I doubt she has any better option. Then the image of So-eun and Tae-jun hugging appeared in his mind. He thought, no way. That's impossible. It cannot be. At K Electronic Services, Bo-bae complained about how hot it has been in the building lately. Every time she goes into work, it feels like entering hell. So-eun agreed. There was even a heat wave warning this morning on the news. Bo-bae questioned that it must be hard on So-eun, as she has to work extra hours on the TF team. She stays up late working, right? So-eun then remembered Tae-jun said he wanted to fill the TF team. She asked if Bo-bae is interested in the TF team. Bo-bae replied, of course she is. Why? So-eun explained that the CEO told her he needs 2 more people to work in the team. She was thinking of Bo-bae and Mr. Jang. What does Bo-bae think about it? It's just going to be from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., so it won't be too exhausting. Bo-bae's eyes lit up. Manager, I'm so touched you thought of me for that. I'm so lucky to have such a generous sunbae. No, it's nothing. Will you be okay with getting off work a little more late? Bo-bae spoke full of enthusiasm. Of course. You have to earn as much money as you can these days. Though to her, that extra payment is good. I'll ask Mr. Jang about it and come back. But I'm sure he'll accept too. So-eun smiled and felt relief. She'll leave that to Bo-bae. Now that she won't be doing everything by herself, it's going to be more doable. And she'll be able to stop feeling as if she were receiving special treatment. She hoped they would get along with the CEO. She feels a little uncomfortable because she feels like she's using Bo-bae and Mr. Jang. But at least, as their colleague, she knows this is a good opportunity for them too. Then, someone announced that the CEO bought ice cream for everyone. Bo-bae wanted to get ice cream for them too. Eo-eun overheard 2 colleagues talking that there's a ton of ice cream, so they should share with other departments. When she saw the ice cream cooler in the distance, that ice cream was her favorite. A text message with photos of the ice cream and employees was sent to Tae-jun. The report with expenses from the company card will be sent to Secretary Song. Tae-jun looked at the photo and wondered if he should have asked the seller to mix some other flavors in the order. He stared at the photo intensely, and no matter how hard he looked at it, the image of So-eun was so blurry. He grabbed the phone hard for a closer look. Damn it! What's wrong with this image quality? I'll have to change all the phones from the management support team. An elderly man guided Tae-jun to the conference room. He thanked Tae-jun for coming all the way there in this weather. It's been so hot lately. Both men felt the heat getting to them. Even Tae-jun had to loosen his tie a bit. At Tae-jun's office, Secretary Song was on the phone to take a message to relay to Tae-jun when he arrived. Not long after, Tae-jun came. He thanked Secretary Song for her hard work before proceeding to his office. Secretary Song told Tae-jun that the employees are in a great mood today, thanks to the ice cream. Tae-jun has a great sense for things like this. He could be a better secretary than her. Tae-jun chuckled and is glad that he is able to help a little. Secretary Song said there's one thing she needed to check with him. She gave Tae-jun the list of candidates Manager Han talked about. Tae-jun took the sheet and said he will check it right away. After sitting down on the chair, he finally let go of his facade. He's exhausted. He couldn't sleep well all weekend, and he's been busy attending meetings all week in the middle of this heat wave. He feels like he's about to die. He thought he would be fine if he just changed the bed, but should he go to a hotel instead? Does he really have to leave his house because of her? Casually looking at the list, the name list suddenly caught his attention. Thinking back to when he overheard So-eun's colleagues talking loudly in favor of So-eun, how it's going to be hard if So-eun is not working with them anymore. Bobae spoke excitedly about how So-eun stopped wearing her glasses. Her face has been glowing lately. One colleague said he didn't notice for the longest time. So-eun always had glasses on, while Mr. Jang thinks that she is really pretty. He even blushed slightly. Tae-jun frowned upon hearing that. Looking at the list, the name Jang Yunpyo is the same guy as that one. So-eun even wrote that Mr. Jang is a special asset to have on the team. This woman. Tae-jun was so irritated. He even crumpled the paper a bit. This is so annoying. Why would he be any different to any other employee? What should he do? He cannot reject Jang Pyo without a good reason. Looking in the mirror, So-eun mentally encouraged herself to face the after-work shift. It's 6 o'clock. It's time to go. She will go greet Secretary Song first, and after that, she will have to go greet the CEO too. He will be in his office, right? What should she tell him?
Ugh.
She should just act as usual. There's no reason for her to be nervous about it. She greeted Secretary Song, who was happy to see her, and asked how her health was. She was shocked when So-eun fainted. So-eun stated that she's doing a lot better, thanks to Secretary Song. And she's sorry for worrying Secretary Song. Secretary Song told So-eun not to worry about it. The CEO took care of almost everything. Even so, So-eun felt bad for making Secretary Song worry about her. Plus, Secretary Song had to take care of her. Secretary Song stated the CEO just arrived. Would So-eun like her to go in with So-eun? Yes. So-eun didn't hesitate to answer. Yes, come in. Secretary Song brought So-eun to the office to greet Tae-jun before leaving back to her post. Tae-jun asked how is So-eun feeling. So-eun answered, I'm better now. Thank you for worrying about me. Tae-jun replied that it's a relief to see she's better. So-eun blushed and wondered, a relief? What does he mean? Work. She should focus on talking about work. Mr. CEO. Today I asked Secretary Song to give you a recommendation letter with the candidates I chose. Tae-jun answered, I see. I'll review it as soon as I can. Of course, he lied. He already saw the list. He's unsure about the candidates. So-eun asked, how soon can they start working once they accept? Tae-jun stated that he'll contact them separately. So-eun asked if there is anything she should tell the candidates to prepare in advance. Before that, Tae-jun would like to apologize to her. He handed the glasses to her. Here, these are your glasses, aren't they? The glasses were cracked. She asked why would he have them? To be honest, he didn't see they were below the bench at the store that day, so he stepped on them. He didn't know how to tell her because she said they were precious to her. He's sorry. She smiled and said, "Nope. They aren't precious to me anymore. It's okay. You could have thrown them away." He stood up and told her, "Let's go buy a new pair." Huh? She questioned. Taejun explained that he was the one that broke the glasses after all. It's only right for him to buy her a new pair. Part of So-eun wanted to reject him, but the other part wanted to hang out with him. Even though she knows she shouldn't fall for him, her heart feels nice being next to him. She wonders where her heart is leading her now. Again. How far will this go? It scares her. So-eun was nervous, anxious, and excited at the same time. "I was planning to get new ones at the local optician shop after I got paid." Taejun stated he knew someone there. So-eun's hand trembled as she pointed to the glasses, thinking she should pick the cheapest one. Then, "I'll take these ones," the sales associate suggested. "What do you think about these ones? I think they suit you better." So-eun cried loudly inside. So expensive. She told the associate she's not sure. The sales associate suggested she try the glasses on. Smaller frames suit So-eun better, and these ones make her look like a model. So-eun tried the glasses on. She thinks these are okay too, but she still thinks the other ones, referring to the cheaper ones. The sales associate commented, "Sire, please take a look at your girlfriend with these glasses," moving So-eun's body to face Taejun. "What do you think? Don't you think these glasses suit her better?" So-eun froze. Girlfriend? What? Taejun leaned closer to inspect. "I'm not sure. She looks pretty with both." So-eun's face blushed bright red as her heart thumped. "You are in big trouble, Han So-eun. What the hell are you going to do about this?" At a jewelry store in the mall, the sales associates welcomed Hae-wook. He made a reservation with them. The sales associate asked him to wait while she brought out the product he mentioned on their call. He frowned, looking at the ring, thinking back to work. After the meeting adjourned, he saw Hyunjin looking at her phone. She asked if he was well prepared for the proposal. He froze thinking, "Why all of a sudden? Why are you asking that? I'll have everything prepared. You don't have to worry." "Haha." Hyunjin laughed blissfully. "Really? I'll be looking forward to it." Hae-wook laughed nervously. "Damn it. Why the hell is she expecting so much? Han So-eun would have been happy even if I just gave her a candy ring. He's not ready for it." Then Hyunjin holds the phone out to show Hae-woo, "This is the engagement ring I want, okay?" Just by looking at it, he could tell it's really expensive. "Oh, you mean the wedding ring?" She replied, "No, this will be just the engagement ring." He asked for the link so he could look at it. After seeing the price, his jaw dropped and his soul almost left his body. 50 million won. What kind of engagement ring is this? How can it be so expensive? While Hyunjin was oblivious to Hae-wook's crisis dilemma, she laughed happily at the phone. "I've dreamt of being proposed to with this ring for a long time. You're going to make my dream come true, right?" Hae-wook cried internally. "Whoa. You work with me. You should know my salary is." He answered, Of course. At the jewelry store. He was really struggling. Making a proposal is so difficult. He cannot even imagine how expensive the wedding ring is going to be. Looking at the receipt, he noticed the price difference. The price is a little different. I thought it was 50 million won. The sales associate answered, yes, but it was raised today by the headquarters. Hae-wook almost had a meltdown. It went up by 5 million in just one day. What the hell is that ring? No, calm down. It's okay. I'll be rewarded with so much more after we get married. I don't know much about her background, but I've heard her father is a businessman. He's always busy doing business abroad. At the very least, they're rich enough to send their daughter to a prestigious university and have her living in a luxurious apartment. So it's guaranteed she's not from a normal family. This is an investment for the future. As long as I get on my father-in-law's good side, I might even be able to open my own law firm. While he was trying to reason and justify his decision, he noticed Han So-eun. What is she doing here? Who's that with her? Is it Kim Tae-jun? They haven't finished packing it yet? What's taking them so long? He asked if the sales associate could hurry up. The associate stated she just got done. He snatched the bag and left hurriedly to chase after So-eun. He saw those two going this way. And where are they? Where did they go? He searched frantically for them. At the same time, Soun and Tae-jun had already walked out to the parking lot. Soun spoke, "You didn't have to buy me contact lenses either. I have a pair already." Tae-jun reasoned that it's because the prescription for her glasses changed too. Even so, she would feel uncomfortable if he buys so many things for her. Tae-jun frowned, thinking, he's the one who's feeling uncomfortable. He is sure that Jang Yumpyo likes Han So-eun, but he cannot prevent them from working together without any reason. Tae-jun assured that he just paid her back for the glasses he broke. She reasoned that she also broke his expensive jar too. In that case, she wanted him to let her know if there is anything he wanted her to do to repay him. He paused, turned around and asked, "Anything?" "There's a lot of things I would like, so many that you could make a mountain with it. And some are even unjustifiable. So I think it's better to ask for something small first. Something that could pass as a basic petition. But if I want to be greedy, I could ask her to make out. I wonder what color she'll turn at that moment, what kind of noises she'll let out. That way, I could secure that in your life, except for me. No one is going to take you away. So now what? Should I do that? I think I'd better not. I know that. I'm pathetic and selfish for thinking this way, but I don't want to see you going away again. I have no choice but to take the path that I know is best." So he told her, "I'm sorry, but there's nothing you could do for me, Manager Han." This is his way of fully compromising. He smiled, turned around and said, "I'm hungry. Would you like to go out and have dinner together? Let's leave quickly before it gets too late." So-eun made up her heart. Suddenly said, "Mr. CEO, I think I have something to say. I think I like you." Her feelings are starting to grow again. They're being fueled by warmth and kindness, just like before. She cannot make the same mistake again. This time, she'll cut it off early. She won't let her wounds fester anymore. She won't be shaken anymore. Looking straight at him, she said, "I'm sorry to say this all of a sudden, but I think I should leave the TF team. I know you trusted me enough to give me this task, and I really appreciate it, but I think I'm just going to be a burden to the team if I keep going like this. I'm sorry for having ulterior motives towards you, Mr. CEO. I will now be faithful to my work. I'll go in first. Thank you for today." She turned around and walked away, telling herself, "It's okay. This was something she had to say someday. You did well. Han So-eun, even if you're embarrassed today, you'll be fine tomorrow." Tears formed about to roll down. Then her hand was grabbed by Tae-jun. He turned her around to face him. "Manager Han, what do you think you're doing? Do you think you can say all that and run away?" He, who has only learned how to win, is about to play a game that no one loses. He will enjoy this fleeting moment of emotion and then leave, and Han So-eun will live without knowing anything. Knowing the end, he cannot move forward. Fearing to lose what he has barely regained, he cannot retreat. The young Tae-jun, playing dominoes, spoke, "Don't overdo it. You need to be presentable for your aunt and grandfather." The older Tae-jun, playing dominoes, sitting across from the young Tae-jun, commented, "You've been listening well so far, so that's enough. I'm just going to play with it for a bit, you know?" However, today was an extremely hot day. The heat is so oppressive that it's hard to breathe even when standing still, and he was also sleep-deprived. There, the older So-eun approached them and said, "Mr. CEO, I have something to tell you. I think I like you, Mr. CEO." As he chased after her, he dropped the dominoes piece on his hand, and the dominoes hit the piece before it, and that before piece fell and hit the next piece, causing a domino effect. Grabbing onto her hand, she turned around with tears flowing down her face. The young Tae-jun questioned madly, "What are you going to do now? I warned you. If my aunt and grandfather find out, it's done." Yes, the grown-up Tae-jun knows that. Looking at the So-eun doll figurine the domino piece was about to hit, reached out his hand to protect it. "I don't care what the end may be." Tae-jun pulled So-eun into his arms and scolded, Why are you giving me such a hard time? Why are you always so sincere? I wished you were a little weaker, a little more twisted like me." "You win, Han So-eun." Remaining in his embrace, So-eun's face becomes red and redder. She reached out her hand behind his back and softly hugged him. He glanced at her and saw her bashful face. "What's with that reaction? She's definitely been in a relationship before. He asked, should we go? To where? She questioned, but he just dragged her by the hand without speaking, tossed her on the seat, buckled her, and drove away, leaving her with lots of questions unanswered. What is going on here? I know I tend to make things difficult, and I'm always sincere even if I don't know what's going on. But what is this? What did you mean by that, Mr. CEO? Looking at his expression, she has even more questions. Then she noticed, wait, this doesn't seem like the way home? Are we going to have dinner like we agreed? In her imagination, they would eat in silence, avoiding talking about what happened earlier. Oh my God, just imagining makes my stomach twist. Looking at him and his impure smirk, she was too embarrassed to speak, but she eventually asked, Mr. CEO, where are we going? He answered, we're going to my house. Upon hearing this, she finally has a meltdown. Mr. CEO's house? He smiled and said, yes. Did you think I would just let you go? That's not possible. What? You know, I lied when I told you that I carried you all the way to the 30th floor. Haha. Oh, I see. But before So-eun even got out of the car, Tae-jun's phone rang.
Ugh.
It won't stop ringing. Tae-jun told her to wait. He has to answer this call. He grabbed onto her hand as he picked up. Hello. Tae-jun, have you left already? The person asked through the other line. Tae-jun answered, yes, I'm on my way home. The person on the phone stated, I'm on my way to your house too. I'm at the parking lot. Where are you? Tae-jun froze and turned to look at So-eun. I think I see your car, Aunt. I'll go there. Then he hung up and dragged So-eun back to his car, put her back inside the car, and asked her to wait inside the car for a moment. Okay. But why? He told her to just wait for a moment. He has to go see his aunt. The moment he shut the door, he transformed into nephew mode, smiling cheekily, Aunt, and ran towards her car. The aunt got out of the car and said, I heard you broke the luxury jar I gave you. Tae-jun apologized. I'm sorry. I know you gave it to me with love. Aunt stated it was okay. It happens. This time, I brought you one made of white porcelain from the Joseon dynasty. It's a lot sturdier than the last one. The aunt took out the chest box and showed it to Tae-jun. The aunt asked, it seems you're getting along well with Secretary Song, aren't you? He remembers when Secretary Song questioned him about getting along much better with Manager Han. Did she tell you something? He wondered if Secretary Song mentioned anything about him, and Han So-eun to his aunt. Aunt laughed and said, I wished. Do you think she would? She's the type to keep her mouth shut. But she contacted me when I was going to meet with a curator. She said you were looking for something to replace the jar I gave you. Aunt laughed cheekily, then excused herself. She will be leaving now since she had given him what she came here to do. He asked if she was going to go up. She is sorry and will call the next time she comes. Tae-jun waved goodbye and watched his aunt's car drive away before heading back to his car. He opened the door and spoke. I'm sorry, my aunt suddenly. But the car was empty. Then he heard a beep on his phone. It was a text message from So-eun. I'm sorry, Mr. CEO. I went back home already. So-eun took the bus home, thinking of when Tae-jun ran to meet up with his aunt. Of course he wanted to hide me. We don't match at all. It's obvious he's not confident in having a relationship with me. But I'm glad I came to my senses early. I let myself daydream for too long. I should worry about what I'm going to do tomorrow at work. When she arrived at her apartment, Tae-jun was already waiting for her. He spoke. You weren't answering my calls. She told her she had her phone turned off at the train station. He explained. He doesn't want to hear her apologizing. He just didn't want his aunt to interfere with his private matters. It's too early for that. His explanation made her silent. It wasn't that he was not confident about her. He turned to look at her and said, Aren't you hungry? I am. Miss Han So-eun, shouldn't you invite me to eat something since we are in your neighborhood? She looked up. Oh, dinner? What would you like to eat? He asked, What is your favorite place around here? She took the lead and asked him to follow her. He wondered if this was going well. She took him to a restaurant and told him to order anything he wanted. She will get him anything? Then he asked, In that case, can I order everything on the menu? She panicked, but stuttered that's okay with her. But wouldn't they take too long at the place? He asked, what do you recommend? She said she likes the double kimbap, the ripened kimchi kimbap, and the tina kimbap. He asked, what's the double kimbap? She explained it's kimbap, but with double the ingredients. He said, let's eat those 3 then. When the kimbap was served, she looked at them. These are bigger than usual. How should she eat them? Should she lower her face? Or should she just cover her mouth? When Taejun stood up to get water, she thought, this is her chance. She stuffed the kimbap in her mouth. Taejun glanced back and noticed this too. He chuckled silently at the water stall. Taejun thanked her for the food. Soeun also enjoyed it too. At first, she thought it was just her, but no matter how much she thinks about it, she thinks she's right. He kept avoiding eyes to make it easier for her too, him having an interest at Tej menu, getting up to use the bathroom, or looking at the news. How should she react to him being so thoughtful? He must have a ton of experience with dating, doesn't he? She's curious about the past. No, she's curious about the present of Mr. CEO. She told him she liked him. What does he think of her confession? Right now, how does he feel being by her side like this? Mr. CEO, I have a question for you. Do you have a girlfriend? He sighed and replied, hey, if I had a girlfriend, did you think I'd be a scumbag and leave her to spend all this time with you? Han Soeun? She reasoned, but you asked me something like that before, about how to be nice to a woman. Because of that, I thought you had a woman in your life you wanted to be nice to. Taejun explained, I just asked that because I was trying to talk to you. Oh, you were trying to have small talk with me. He humphed, there are more reasons, but it doesn't matter anymore. Then he confessed, I've been interested in you since I gave you the bag with grill deal. She asked, do you usually bother someone you are interested in that much? He gazed oddly at her for a moment before replying, not really. Well, now that I think about it, maybe I do. She can't understand him. Why would he bother her like that? Was he worried that she'd hate him if he bothered her so much? Did he just give up on getting me to like him and focus on getting acknowledged by me instead? Does this mean he teases me every time I don't pay attention to him? Then he said, I'm sorry. She thought he was apologizing for bothering her. She answered, it's okay. It's not necessary to do that anymore. He touched her face and pulled it closer to him and said, that's not what I'm talking about. I'll be apologizing a lot from now on. And then he leaned in to kiss her. After a few kisses, he slid the mint into her mouth and whispered sweetly, take it all, and then stuck out his tongue to sweep her delicious mouth. Her face blushed bright red. This mint flavor. It's spicy. Then he parted away from her mouth and asked, what? You don't like this flavor? I followed you all the way to your house. Don't you think I should get a little kiss? Soeun breathed heavily. No, that's not what I mean. Taejun stepped closer and declared, I'm going to take you. I don't like playing pretend. Then he kissed the corner of her eye and said, I'll reveal more of myself to you. Soeun thought, is this how he actually is? He said he was sorry for bothering her, but at the same time, he said that he was going to apologize for similar things a lot more in the future. She doesn't think he will let her go anyway, if this is how he really is. In that case, she doesn't think he's actually sorry. Then, he pulled her in for another deep, passionate kiss. The next day at work, Bobae arrived at work complaining that last night was so hot. She almost couldn't sleep. Soeun was still dazed from the night before and didn't even know why she came to work. He cannot believe she came to work after everything that happened yesterday. She didn't do all that with just a colleague from the company. She did it with the CEO of the company. Is this all a dream? Please. She hopes that's the case. Then someone announced the CEO is coming. Bobae praised. He's so cool. Look how tall he is. Manager Han, have you heard any rumors about the CEO? If he has a girlfriend, I bet it's a famous model or another rich woman from a powerful family. Soeun darted her eyes away and muttered, Who? Who knows? Bobae nudged Soeun. Hey, you two are always together. You haven't heard anything? Really? Soeun denied. No, I really don't know anything. Manager Jang then came by to the girl. They greeted each other and then Taejun called out, Manager Han So-eun. These two are the ones you wanted in the TF team, right? He came up and smiled brightly at the team. Nice to meet you, everyone. You can start your activities at the TF team this coming Monday. The excited Bo Bei answered, We'll do our best, Mr. CEO. Tae-jun stated, they can come to the 7th floor after their normal schedule at 6 p.m. Yes. Everyone was riled up. He dropped by just like that and left. Bo Bei asked curiously, what are we going to do first? Do you know Manager Han? I'm not sure. Since all three of us are from the mobile services team, I'm guessing it's going to be a project related to that, don't you think? Bo Bei guessed, maybe we could surpass everyone's expectations by designing a new model. What kind of concept would you like, Manager Jang? Yunpyo answered that he would like a dehumidifier. So-eun thought, a dehumidifier. She would also love that. Bo Bei asked, why would he want that? Yunpyo explained it might sound a little strange, but when he saw the condenses moist slowly filling the water storage compartment, it feels nice. The girls were instantly amazed at Jangpyo. He thinks it would be nice to have something like that on a cell phone. So-eun exclaimed full of energy. I also like dehumidifiers. Thanks to them you can see the water molecules that are around you, and then it fills a compartment with that water. And her expressions shocked both Bo Bei and Yunpyo. Bo Bei laughed and stated, this is the first time I see Manager Han talking so loudly. Jangpyo asked, you like the dehumidifiers too, Manager Han? So-eun cried and answered shyly, yes. Tae-jun, who was walking away, overheard this conversation. Dehumidifier? He's never seen her acting like that before. It's like a new side that he didn't know about. Thinking about her expression yesterday, he worried. I don't think she felt as confident about her confession yesterday. She was shy, timid, and passive when she confessed. But today, she was enthusiastic and very vocal. His thoughts become paranoid. Could it be that she likes dehumidifiers more than me? And he became mad at his own thoughts. Han So-eun. I'm better than him. He's better than the dehumidifier. Now he's stalking her gloomily around the corner, confusing the worker who just passed by. At Tae-jun's aunt's office, the secretary handed her the materials for today's presentation. Though she seemed to be working, she was actually thinking about when she saw Tae-jun holding a girl's hand in the parking lot, when he was talking on the phone with her. Though she only saw their back views, it seems that he has a new girlfriend. She wonders if Secretary Song knows something about it. How she saw Tae-jun yesterday, he was being all sneaky, looking around. She told herself, let's not become that nosy aunt that interferes in her nephew's private life. If they start getting serious, he'll show her to me one day. I will sincerely welcome anyone that Tae-jun chooses, and if my father doesn't like her, I'll stand by their side and support them. Tae-jun and his new girlfriend, what kind of woman will she be? The end of a new work day. So-eun texted Tae-jun if they are going to redo the TF activities today. He texted back that she can go up to him. Upon arriving at his office, he personally came to open the door for her, which surprised her. It wasn't necessary for him to open the door for her. Mr. CEO, I wanted to talk to you about the new project we are going to start next week. Tae-jun wrapped his arms around her from behind and said, I hear that you like dehumidifiers. You heard that? I was just talking nonsense. He refuted. How can it be nonsense when you look so fired up talking about it? He spooned her from behind and asked, would you like to go out and have a drink together? She acts cute when she's drunk. So-eun tried to walk away from him. This won't do. This is a dangerous situation. We're going to be in trouble if someone sees us. I have to reach the door. Her hand trembled as she tried her hardest to reach the handle, but she accidentally locked the door instead. So-eun froze, panicked. What? Why? Did I lock the door? Tae-jun whispered, if you lock the door like that, isn't it more suspicious? But it's okay. I don't think anyone will come. So-eun's face turned red and then she tried to push him away. We should focus on work at the company. She patted her thumping heart to calm down. I almost fell over. Having a relationship with a coworker is more dangerous than I thought. She reasoned before calming down. All right, let's really focus on work during the weekdays. Would you be free during the weekend? I am free. Now she suddenly feels like she did something wrong. It feels weird. How can he act so indifferent in this situation? He ordered, then made sure to pack everything you needed for a 3 days and 2 nights trip. Where would you like to go? It took Soon a moment to process. Trip of 3 days and 2 nights, packing things. A place I want to go. It could only mean one thing. This trip is a couple's trip? Oh my God. She stuttered to clarify. Mr. CEO, are you telling me that you want to go on a trip for couples? He answered dramatically, yes, what about it? You don't want to? So-eun was bewildered, awed, speechless, unable to recover from the blow of the couple's trip. No, Tae-jun thought she was too cute. That's too fast, however. She couldn't tell him that she doesn't want to. In the end, she told him, it's nothing, she'll go. Meanwhile, that same evening, Hae-wook's house was festive. The whole family was preparing for the proposal. The dad asked, are you really going to do your proposal at home? Your mom was just discharged from the hospital yesterday. Just because she was discharged doesn't mean she's completely recovered. Hae-wook cried as he blew the balloons for decorations. What do you want me to do? Hyunjin always refuses to meet me in a hotel room. The mom scolded the dad. Hey, stop nagging him. You're just jealous because he's doing for his lover what you couldn't do for me, aren't you? The dad reasoned. It's not like that. I'm just worried about you. Worried about me? The mom told him that he should be worrying about his son. Looking at the decoration table, she saw how dazzling the ring box was. Curious to what kind of ring her son bought, she opened the case. Son, you bought a really gorgeous ring. Hae-wook asked his mom to put that down. She shouldn't be touching it. She asked, how much did it cost you? I'm sure it must have been at least 5 million won. Well, I'm sure a daughter-in-law like that must be expensive. Hae-wook answered, she has a similar taste to your mom. I even bought it in the same department store that you always go to. But in hindsight, it was really expensive, way too expensive. He cannot believe he spent 55 million won on a ring. He must have gone crazy for a moment. After thinking about it, he realized it was a waste, and he returned the real ring back. Then after that, he ordered a fake version of the same ring, only for 500,000 won. He used the old case of a gift from his mother, and he forged the authenticity document. That's the only reasonable thing to do. After looking at it, the mother asked, hey, now that I'm looking at it, are you sure you bought this at the same department store? And in this case, it is a little. Then Hae-wook ran to the door. I must get Hyunjin. I'll be right back. Be prepared. And like that, he proposed to her with the ring. The mother and father cheered on the side. Hyunjin was surprised. She asked, you all prepared this for me? I'm so touched. The parents were proud. The mother thought they were a perfect match. Hyunjin showed off the ring. Thank you, Oppa. The ring is so pretty too. But this ring is a little loose on me. Could I have lost weight recently? Hae-wook calmed. It's okay. I can exchange it at the store later. How could you do that when I brought it for you? Let me do that. Hyunjin answered, I have some free time right now. This ring cost 55 million won. It'll be better to exchange it as soon as possible. Also, wouldn't it be better if they could get my measurements in person? The parents' jaw dropped, shocked at how expensive the ring was. They side-eyes glared at their son. The mother interrupted, I don't see the wine opener. I'll go look for one. Huh. As the mother walked away, she whispered to herself, I'll have to scold him properly later. Hyunjin called out, Mother-in-law, are you feeling better? I heard you were discharged yesterday. She turned around and stated, she is all right. Hyunjin felt better. What a relief. My parents will be returning to the country next week. If it's all right with you, can we all have a meeting together? The mother forced a laugh. Oh, I did not hear about that from Hae-wook. Why were your parents abroad? Hyunjin explained, oh, my father works in Dubai in the UAE. They focus on high-tech business. But my mother is a housewife just like you. This sparked the mother's interest. What is the name of the company he works at? Hyunjin stated proudly, it's the Kasoon Artificial Intelligence Industrial Technology. I'll show you the photo of my father's company. She took out the phone to show the photo. It was a high-rise, tall, sturdy building, making the mother's jaw drop thinking of endless wealth in the future. When did you say they were coming? Hyunjin stated, next week. The mother's demeanor changed to instant happiness. Of course, I would love to meet them. My health doesn't matter when such important people are making time to meet someone like me. Hyunjin stated, don't worry too much about it. You don't have to push yourself too hard. Oh, there's something I would like to tell you before you meet my parents. You know I'm an only child, right? My parents don't want to see me getting married and suffering because of it, so they are probably going to ask about our house first. I'm sure they'll want to know if my husband's family is going to be able to afford a good house for us. The mother snickered. What is she saying? She made him spend 55 million won on a ring, and now she wants us to buy them a house? Hyunjin continued, if unbothered by the changes in the mother's expression. Because of that, if my mama sees you thinking about it as much as you are right now, she will tell my dad and he's going to buy a house twice as good. Hae-wook better and made a good decision by presenting his first option. You should only be thinking about that, about how much you are going to make it work to spend on our house. Now, the mother finally sees it. The reason Hae-wook bought such an expensive ring, there's no way Hae-wook is going to end up losing as long as he manages to marry her. Well done, son. You caught a huge fish. At the jewelry store, Hae-wook returned to the jewelry shop last time to get the ring again. He cried and scolded himself. Damn it, I should have bought the expensive ring from the beginning. I struggled to get a fake one, and I wasted more money on it. I even had to come all the way to buy it again, which now cost about 60 million won. I couldn't let Hyunjin come to change it herself. What is the best they're doing here? I can't believe he comes here to shop so comfortably while others like me struggle by buying just one thing. If he would have kept our contract, I could have been as relaxed about money as him. Come to think of it, why did Han So-eun and him come together to this place last time? I should check it by myself. He walked up to Tae-jun and called out, Mr. Kim Tae-jun, long time no see. How have you been? Oh, lawyer young Hae-wook. Hae-wook's attitude changed to catering. I was very sad when I heard you withdrew from our contract. You didn't even contact us personally to tell us. Ha ha ha. Tae-jun answered without giving face. Sorry about that. I thought your first recruitment would be successful, but I was very disappointed when it did not result as expected. Well then, if you excuse me. And he walked away. Hae-wook still has to check. So he asked, wait, do you know Han So-eun? She is actually my girlfriend? She works at the electronic customer service brand of the K Group, just like you. Tae-jun answered without hiding. I do know her. Hae-wook replied, to be honest, I broke up with her not too long ago. And I saw her hugging you the day we broke up. Tae-jun stated she just leaned on me because she wasn't feeling well that day. Hae-wook asked, you were such a nice person. How has she been doing? Tae-jun answered, if uninterested, I don't know. I don't have the time to check on each of my employees one by one. Hae-wook explained, I'm a little worried for her because she's the type of person that would have a hard time after a breakup like that. I was the only one she could rely on. I hope she's not causing any inconveniences for you. Mr. CEO. Tae-jun gave him a death glare and turned around to walk away. If you are that curious about her, you should contact her on your own. Leaving Hae-wook confused. What's gotten into him all of a sudden? At So-eun's house. Her stuff are all over the place. She doesn't have enough clothes to bring to a 2 nights and 3 days trip. She should have bought more. What else should she pack? And then she looked at her undergarments. They are brand new, delicate undergarments. She took one to look at it, and then her face blushed. She should try them on at least once. She'll just check if they look good on her. As she slid her shirt up a little, she was reminded of the scars from the surgery. She's so dumb. Why didn't she think about that? Then her phone buzzed, startling her. Luckily, it's just a message from the CEO. What could have happened now? He was already in front of her apartment right now. She rushed out without properly putting her jacket on. He asked why is she in such a hurry. Before she could mutter a reply, he handed her the bag. Here, your glasses. She asked if he went there by himself. He had a meeting nearby, so he went to get them since he was around already. She thanked him. Then he asked if there is anything else she wanted to tell him aside from that. She stuttered shyly. Well, thank you for buying these new glasses for me. And, also, Tae-jun hugged her and sighed. It was so hard being apart from you for so long. Don't you want to pack your things and come out with me? Still blushing, in his embrace. She asked, right now? Where to? He replied happily. To my house. She froze. What? What are we supposed to do in your house, Mr. CEO? He chuckled. What are you talking about? Falling asleep together. Don't you want that? I sure want to fall asleep next to you. As he trailed his fingers down her hairs to her ear lobes, she backed away from him. Her eyes swirled in circles, trying to process what he said. We agreed to hang out just during the weekend. We literally agreed to that just a few days ago. Tomorrow. We have work tomorrow. He walked up to her and wrapped his arms around her. What about it? You can go to work with me tomorrow. She cried inwardly. You sneaky liar. He said, It's okay too if you want me to sleep here with you. She declined. No. I'll go to your house. Like that, she left with him. She decided not to be curious about his past, and the CEO seems to think the same about her. So they don't have to be shy with each other about it. They decided to leave it all in the past. If they keep moving forward being unbothered by the past, she is sure they will experience a whole new world. She wants to enjoy a pure love without any pittiness or compassion towards her past. Because of that now, she wants to be as honest as she can with what she wants and desires. She has to tell him. She has to tell him right now. Made up her mind. She held onto his cuff and said, Mr. CEO, I want to ask you something. I would like you to turn off the lights tonight. The devil and Angel Tae-jun had a meeting. Staring at their to-do list, Angel Tae-jun questioned if that is enough. Bring her the glasses and pick her up. The devil Tae-jun answered that it is enough. Although, he thinks they are forgetting a very important thing. Can he add it? Angel Tae-jun refused. Didn't you see what you caused earlier? Are you going to take responsibility if she runs away again? Devil Tae-jun finally stopped, and then they both stopped and directed their attention to Soon. She asked, Mr. CEO, I want to ask you something. She tore off the to-do list and said, I would like you to turn off the lights tonight. All that they planned was useless. Tae-jun didn't expect for her to be so active about it like this. Looking at her blushed, nervous face, he could only do as she asked. All right, but we can at least leave a bed lamp on, right? She refused. No, nothing like that. He observed her, silently and intently, thinking of various things. Then as a light bulb came on, he laughed naughtily. I think I get it. You like to do it without seeing anything? Would you like me to cover your eyes? She blushed even more and said, No, it's not like that. I don't want any lights on. Looking at her nervous expression, she seems very worried about it. He's never felt so tortured by someone's expression before. She looked so cute to him, and he could only give in to her request. I understand. Aside from that, do you have any other requests? She answered shyly, not looking at him. Oh yes. To be honest, it's my first time. So. Oh, well. I just wanted to ask you to take good care of me, since I don't have any experience. Tae-jun looked at Soon and questioned why. Why is she lying to him like that? There's no way she couldn't have done it already with young Hae-wook after they were together for so long. I don't see a way for someone like him to not have insisted on laying his hands on someone like her. My jealous side is starting to heat up, but I have to separate that from this moment. It has nothing to do with us right now. Because of that, it's okay for me, he uttered. Soon, but I don't know if I'll be able to turn all the lights off all the way you want it. But I'll definitely take good care of you. She turned around to see him, and he leaned in to kiss her. I want to see you while doing it. I don't want my eyes to lose sight of any piece of you. He started kissing her neck to tease her, ran his lips on her earlobe, sending chills down through her body. Then he sucked her neck again, making her whole body tremble. Her face was already flushing with heat. Wait. Mr. CEO, wait a moment. He didn't listen to her pleas and continued to kiss and suck her. After sucking and kissing her neck to stimulate her, he pulled her chin up so he could kiss her lips. After kissing her to his fill, he finally let go and smiled. Shall we start now? She was scared and nervous, but she was also determined. She answered, Getting her permission. He knelt down. First we must take this off. He looked so gentlemanly and kind as he started to take off her shoes. He was gentle and slow with each of his actions, as if he had all the time in the world to take off her shoes. He glanced up to look at her. From his point of view, he could only see her ear and part of her face. But he could clearly see that her ears and face were blushing red, nervous. He averted his eyes down as he picked up her shoes to put away. Just a little bit. I'll wait for you just a little bit more. Gently caressing her face. He knows he could embrace as much as he wants, but if she is not looking at him, he'll have to make her look at him properly, so she can remember it clearly, and picture those memories in her heart again. Then he leaned in to kiss her. The lights were off, though the window was open. Moaning and love-making noises filled the room. So-eun's body trembles while tears dripped down her face. Tae-jun, who was on top of her, spread her legs wider for better penetration. She could only moan with each of his thrusts. At this moment, he knew that he was burning with jealousy right now. Their hands clasped tight together. So-eun muttered through tears. "Mr. CEO. It hurts. I don't like it." At the same time, Tae-jun thought, "Here it comes. That bastard is coming to her mind again. I want to see it. I'm going to turn on the lights. I want to see what kind of crying expression she's doing now. At last. What I've been longing for. It's finally coming to reality." Tae-jun huffed from exercise exertion, while So-eun moaned from pain and pleasure. "I must be crazy. You are crazy." Kim Tae-jun. The next day, sunlight peeked through the window. So-eun finally woke up. She turned to look behind her, but there was no one there. "Mr. CEO is already up. Right, I have to get ready for work too." She sat up and then screamed in pain. Her back is about to break. My whole body aches. Thinking back, she yelled. "But I've already washed up and changed into my pajamas." Tae-jun still wants to go another round reasoned. "It doesn't matter, since the lights are off, right?" She scolded. "It's all your fault, Mr. CEO. You did nothing right except turn off the lights." Still, that was the first time she experienced something like that. An overwhelming sensation, a mix of sadness and happiness. He was making love to her like he wanted to devour everything of her, even shaking while muttering, "You left me, you were mine. You were mine." Lying on the bed, she wondered who was he thinking of when he said that. "I want to know. But I don't want to at the same time." Just as I concealed my scars for a normal first night, Mr. CEO must have hidden his past to embrace me. We rushed into this, knowing so little about each other. We're merely together for the fleeting desires of the moment. Now, it's not the time to think about that. I have to get to work. After dressing up, she met Tae-jun downstairs. He was all dressed, looking dazzlingly refreshed. "Did you sleep well?" So-eun, shy, couldn't make eye contact, asked. "Yes." "Did you get some rest?" I cannot bring myself to look into his eyes. He caressed her cheeks and asked how her body was doing. She quickly said, "She is fine." He said he enjoyed it. "What about her?" Her face blushed bright red, thinking, "I'll never be able to get used to it." She said, "I enjoyed it too." He complained, "I remember you cried." Shy So-eun asked, How? How? Did you know?" Tae-jun stated he can notice everything he touches. So-eun explained, "I didn't realize that. I didn't hate the sensation. I was just..." Then she noticed the jar that she broke. "Mr. CEO, that jar?" Tae-jun answered, I glued it back together. It looks good, right?" So-eun felt sad. "No, it's a bit obvious. Just as I'm hiding my past, this man is thinking of someone from his past. Everything will come out in the end. How long can we keep deceiving each other?" "I'm sorry." Tae-jun didn't want her to feel guilty about. He teased, "I'm going to flick your forehead whenever you apologize," motioning the flickering gesture with his fingers. Her reaction stopped him. He remembered that same protective reaction from back then. "She's just like back then too." He sighed and stated, "I'm just kidding. Just stop apologizing, So-eun." She was surprised. She didn't get flicked. I don't understand." "Well, then, I'll say thank you instead of sorry. I broke something worth 50 million won. This is a big deal." But thank you for acting like it's not a big deal. It's never coming back. He pulled her in for a hug. Who says that? Then his phone rang, attracting their attention. Tae-jun frowned, while So-eun asked him to answer it. The call was from his Aunt Seok-hwa. Yes, Auntie. She called to ask for a favor. Would he be able to go on a business trip to the Philippines this weekend? This weekend? Tae-jun questioned. Aunt Seok-hwa answered, yes, this weekend. It's Friday there, right? I think it'll be a good idea to leave right away. I'm not sure if the news has reached there yet, but some electronics factory workers have died. It wasn't an accident at the factory, but an accident that happened while the workers were commuting home by carpooling. Apparently, the accident was caused by the driver's negligence. The families of the diseases are demanding compensation for negligence. We need to discuss this with the legal team at the Philippines branch first. So-eun felt a little awkward. She wasn't sure if she should go or stay as she could hear the conversation. Though she doesn't completely understand, but it sounds serious. She guessed, the other plans are out of the question now. It cannot be helped. Seeing her expression, he made his decisions. Aunt, I'm an executive at K Electronic Services. Shouldn't that be handled by the electronics department? Aunt explained, several of the deceased employees were from the service department. So, it's perfectly fine for you to step up. Besides, you're good at English. It's an opportunity for you to shine externally. Your father will be happy about it too. Tae-jun refused. I can't. I have other appointments scheduled. Aunt asked if those appointments are not urgent. Before the aunt could finish, Tae-jun answered firmly, they are? Even if the president passed away, I cannot go. I'm sorry, but please find someone else. I cannot do it. I'll hang up now. Aunt was still calling his name, but he hung up adamantly. Nothing will stop him from having that 3 days and 2 nights with the woman he's been madly crushing for over 20 years. So-eun urged him to go. He doesn't have to stay because of her. Thinking back to her experience with Hae-wook, suddenly had to go overseas, and even asked her to go take care of his mother in the hospital. She wondered why now. She doesn't feel as disappointed as back then. She thinks this means that he values the time they spend together more than his family's request or work. It actually makes her quite happy. But such joy is not meant to last forever. She coaxed Tae-jun. There are times when you have to go. We can meet another time. I don't want people to know I was with you. I've accepted car rides multiple times, and we even work together in a team where it's just the two of us. But none of my colleagues suspect anything between us. Everyone is convinced. No one would imagine something could happen between us. I like the way things are now. In her heart, she thanked him for allowing her to enjoy it momentarily. All she can do in return is to cherish this moment and not have any unrealistic expectations. That's why she cannot let his world be ruined because of her. Tae-jun questioned, Han So-eun, don't you enjoy being with me? No, that's not what I was trying to say. She was lifted and carried away. Mr. CEO? Wait a moment. What are you doing so suddenly? Put me down. Where are we going? He didn't pay any attention to her. He continued to carry her away, tossed her on the bed, turned the lights off and tightened the curtains. He turned around and stated, that should work. She was in a dilemma, seeing the CEO approaching her. No, wait. What are you going to do about her, about your business trip? Hours later, they are stuck in traffic. Tae-jun was humming in a good mood, while So-eun looked like a salted fish. What should I do about him now? I almost missed work because of the CEO. We barely made it on time. Moments ago, after eating her clean, he changed so quickly and was ready for work. Tae-jun muttered, there is a ton of traffic. He normally doesn't wake up for work at this hour. So-eun voiced that she should go alone. She knows her way from here. She could just take a bus. He asked if she is taking the bus because she feels uncomfortable arriving together with him. I just thought it could be a little troublesome for you since you have a different schedule and I'm also worried that other people could see us. Thinking of what she said in consideration, he suggested, in that case, I'll take you home. You can leave your luggage there and go to work on your own. I'm sorry, we won't be able to see each other during this week. Gazing at him, she blushed and teased. Don't act so sad about it, Mr. Seo. There's no need for you to go out of your way for me. I can't add to your wealth, wisdom, or even help with your business. I didn't have anything to give you. The plain Han So-eun. I can only give you my free time. I liked you because you are the one that has a ton of value. I'm happy that there's nothing else I can give you since I can focus on giving you my love. Our relationship doesn't need to be projected for the future because of it. It's a relationship where the present is the only thing that matters. Tae-jun dropped So-eun off at her apartment unit. She thanked him for the ride. He told her to call him when she got to the company. She brought her luggage inside and shut the door. Their relationship, it's not a give or take relationship. That's why she liked it. In the Philippines, Kim Tae-jun was greeted by a man who asked Tae-jun to follow him. He will guide Tae-jun to the lounge. While walking, he observed the environment around. It's changed beyond recognition here. There was nothing when he came here for the first time with his father. Remembering back to his childhood, his father was still meeting with workers. But the moment he called his father set aside the talk and gave him the attention he needed. Didn't you say you wanted to help your father? Tae-jun answered. Yes. But his father validated his feelings. You must be feeling lonely. How about we go play at the beach later? We'll keep it a secret from your grandpa. Suk-hwa. I mean, you cannot tell anything of this to your aunt either, okay? The excited Tae-jun nodded vehemently. I won't say anything. Then, father and son make a pinky promise to have their own secrets kept. That was the last trip he made with his father. Not too long after that, his father got into an accident. Then, Tae-jun noticed the guide in front of him looked nervous. Tae-jun tried to make small talk. It's hot in Korea, but it's much hotter in this country. The guide agreed. It's quite humid here. That's because it rains a ton here. Tae-jun is not a kid anymore. He understood that his grandfather and aunt were just trying to establish business connections outside the country. Their conversations were interrupted by Tae-jun's uncles. Kim Sang-deok, did you have a hard time getting here? It's not easy for people like us to meet often even if we are family. Tae-jun thought. He's right. This is weird. Why is he here? I don't think he's the type that would care about our business relationships in the Philippines. However, he's also the type who doesn't let even the smallest things escape. Well, that's the reason he's the prime candidate to be the next president of the company. He's the man who most likely will take over grandfather, so that might be it. Uncle stated, if I'd known you were going to come, I would have left it to you and gone straight to Korea. Tae-jun turned into stone. What the hell? I cannot believe this. If I knew the two of us would come for the same thing, I would have stayed too. Flashback to when So-eun said she had nothing to offer except her time. The uncle commented, maybe Suk-hwa wanted to use you to impress the reporters with the new face of the company. Tae-jun answered, I didn't come here to be a sacrificial lamb to the reporters. I'm here for work. Uncle made snide remarks. You should put that handsome face to good use. If they like you because of your face, that's great. Tae-jun glared at him and then took off. At the airport, Hyun-jin greeted her parents. Her parents are bubbly just like her too. They met, hugged, and talked about how much they missed each other, while Hae-wook was waiting to be noticed. Unable to wait, Hae-wook finally introduced himself. Father-in-law. My name is Young Hae-wook. The father stated, oh. So he was the one Hyun-jin had been bragging a lot about. How handsome her new partner was, but they didn't expect him to be so tall. Hae-wook's head was growing so big. He felt quite proud that Hyun-jin has been talking pretty good about him. Hyun-jin took her parents to the restaurant to meet up with Hae-wook's parents. Her father said it was nice to have such good in-laws. Hae-wook's father stated they are the lucky ones to have a daughter-in-law like Hyun-jin. With a woman like next to their son will become a great man. Hyun-jin's father readily agreed. So they shall start talking about the house for their kids. He doesn't want his only daughter to suffer. So they want to ask first, how much are they thinking of spending on the kids' house? Hae-wook's parents discussed this topic previously, so they were prepared for it. They collected their savings, insurance, and even put a mortgage on their house. Hae-wook even managed to get a few of his payments settled early. So his father said, 500 million, but his mother said 2 billion won. She think they can accommodate that. Of course. They want them to live in the best place they can, not just a simple apartment. While Hae-wook and his father thought, The mom must be crazy. They don't have that amount of money. They are almost broke because of the hospital bills. Hyunjin's father said that's great. He will add 2 billion won on top of theirs. He is sure they can find a nice house for 4 billion won. Hae-wook looked nervous. He cannot believe that her father would give 2 billions like it's nothing. Her family is more wealthy than he thought. They will start with a nice house. That's great, but is that really going to be it? At K Electronic Customer Services, So-eun helped a customer. She placed an order for the spare parts and will contact the customer upon arrival next week. Then her phone rang. Looking at the number, it seemed to be. She picked it up, and it was from Kim Tae-jun. If he's contacting her with his phone at this hour, it must be because he just finished working. She cleared her throat and greeted him. He asked if she misses him. Before she answered, he already concluded that she doesn't miss him. So-eun denied. Not. It's not like that. While panicking. What should I do? What should I say? Why did he have to say that all of a sudden? I have to say something. Tae-jun instructed. Starting today, the TF team will start its activities. Please come to the office with your team members after work. After saying that, he hung up on her. So-eun hasn't been able to process what happened. He called and already hung up, leaving her to wonder what just happened. Bo-bae, who perked her ears to listen, asked, "You were on the call with CEO Kim Tae-jun?" So-eun answered, "Yes." He said for them to go up to his office after work today. They are going to start their activities as the TF team. Bo-bae was excited. Finally, they are starting. After work, the TF team met. Tae-jun briefed over what happened last week. Thanks to manager Han So-eun's efforts of meticulously registering the date, they were able to spot a few errors related to the replacement of the motherboard. So-eun looked at the printed files. She wondered, there is so much data in this. When did he have time to do it? This must have taken a ton of work outside his regular schedule, and he spent most of his free time with her. Oh, he didn't make her do it directly so it wouldn't interfere with their date? He showed them 2 motherboards and asked if they could recognize the difference. So-eun looked at it and gave her input. The chipset is different. Isn't this from another company? Tae-jun smiled and replied, "That's right. Our components come from our contractor from the Philippines, IAX, and we received extra motherboards plus chipsets from a company named Nocom too. According to the company's data, our main supplier is IAX. That's because the durability of the chipset is excellent compared to its price. However, the distribution was different for the K Customer Services Department. They were provided with a different set of motherboards that came from Nocom. But the phone model that this new motherboard was assigned to use were all the models that had a guarantee period of just 3 months. Bo-bae thought the products they've been using were more durable, but have they only been using third-party products? So-eun understood the same way too, but Tae-jun said he can answer that. The data about Nocom was relatively simple in their records, so in this case, it should be easy to determine if the K group had a clear intention for doing this. They should all take a look. Check the chipset and components of the different companies to define which one is better. The 3 thoughts if they do that. They will practically be doing an internal check of the company itself. That's mutiny. Internal division. Succession war. They cried wondering if they are going to appear in the news because of this. Tae-jun insisted that if they have any other data they need, they can ask Secretary Song for it. Jang Pyo asked if this means that the activities of the TF team have to be kept a secret. Tae-jun replied, "Yes, that's right. He will need all of them to stick to security protocol." Jang Pyo asked, if that's the case, may he ask why Tae-jun decided to start a project like this? Tae-jun explained, he is the CEO of the K Electronics Customer Service Branch. Shouldn't he be doing things like this? If the company is going down the wrong path, he has to figure it out and redirect it. Earlier, Bo-bae was ogling over Jang Pyo for asking such smart questions. Now she's ogling over Tae-jun's transparentness. When the protocols were signed, So-eun brought them to Tae-jun. Knowing that there are only them 2, he finally let go of the boss face and hugged her tightly. She hugged him back. It seems there are times when the CEO pushes himself too far. So-eun, did you really not miss me? She answered firmly, "Of course I did." He asked, "Then why didn't you contact me first?" She reasoned, "That's because I thought you were busy with work." He put his head on her shoulder as if to recharge his energy through her. He was lonely all weekend. She hugged him and chuckled. Where did that charismatic and confident man from earlier go? Mr. CEO, today. Before she finished, he leaned in and kissed her lips, stopping her from talking. She pulled her head away and told him to wait. But he asked if she wanted to go home together today. She frowned and closed her mouth. That's not what I meant. I won't budge this time. Now I know how persistent he is. She answered, No, I didn't mean that. He asked, Don't you want me? She was speechless, and then she explained, Maybe not today, but do you have time this weekend? He asked, If we don't do it right away, then you'll just give me another excuse this weekend, won't you? She reasoned, No, it's just that I need to start with the assignment you gave me so I can be free during the weekend. At least that's something I can help you with. He asked, Don't you want to move to Seoul? I can pay your rent. She rejected. No. He assured her that she doesn't have to feel pressured. He won't even notice if he spends that money on her. Pfft. Soon laughed. It's so odd. She finally recollected herself. Oh God, I'm sorry. I didn't mean what you think. Taejun stated, If you are truly sorry, you'll receive a finger flick on your forehead to pay for it. She closed her eyes and protected her forehead. But what she got was a kiss to the mouth. After kissing her, he let go and stated, Well, I guess you don't leave me any other choice. I'll have to sleep in your house tonight. Han So-eun,